Okay, you guys, Mrs. Forbes coming here from C132, and we're going to talk about multiplying numbers with a little dot. Does anybody know what the little dot means? The girl in the blue shirt. Yeah, you. Yes, the dot means decimal. So, to me, multiplying numbers with decimals is just like multiplying numbers and skipping and hopping or jumping. So if you can play hopscotch, if I can tell you four, jump four spaces, then you can multiply decimals. Really easy. So don't let it scare you. So we have two numbers here, 4 and 8 tenths and 7 and 2 tenths. I'm not even thinking about the decimals right now. I'm looking at 48 and 72. Can you multiply 48 and 72? You can? Then this is not going to be a problem for you. So I actually pre-recorded this on Smartboard. So we're going to actually walk it through using the Smartboard. So I'm going to multiply traditionally. 8 times 2 is 16. 4 times 2 is 8 plus 1 gives me 9. Then I am going to add a 0 to hit the next decimal place. 7 times 8 is 56, carry the 5, and I get 33. And then I'm going to add these two together. 9 plus 6 is 15, carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4. And then I have now 34, 5, 6. Now, this is where I'm going to actually pause it for a second. So I'm coming up here, because I actually went too fast in the Smartboard. I have a number 1 right here. 1 is telling me how many places did I jump. So let's count. 1. Let's try it again. 1 place. So I'm going to put a 1 here just to let me know that I jumped. Hello, how many spaces? 1. Then I'm going to start here and I'm going to jump to my decimal place. 1. How many places did I jump? 1. Let's try that again. 1. So I'm going to put 1 here. So now I'm going to add 1 plus 1. How many fingers do I have? 2. So that tells me that I'm going to jump 2 decimal places. So I'm going to go all the way down here. And it's important that we know that we're going to start here to jump 2 decimal places. So let's count. 1, 2. So now my answer is 34 and 56 hundredths, because we're in the hundreds place, tenths, hundredths. So again, that number is 34 and 56 hundredths. But before I move on, I want to talk about what is reasonable, what makes sense. So if I had to estimate, let's say 48 is close to like having 50, okay? Or $4.80 is close to having $5. And $7.20 is close to having like $7. So 5 times 7 is $35. So let's look. Is my answer close to $35? It is. So 34 and 56 hundredths looks like it should be the right answer. Seems reasonable to me. Let me see. I counted my space values. I have 1, I have 2, just to make sure. 1, 2. I have 2 jumps. Good. So I'm done with that problem. Hi, I'm back, you guys. So we just realized what traditional multiplication is. And for some, it might be easy. For others, it might not be a thing that you like. I personally, that's how I was taught. But if not, we also have a lot of you guys like lattice. If you've never done lattice before, I'm going to explain to you. I actually was taught lattice by a 6th grader myself. So you're going to have to draw a box. And depending on how many numbers you have, you're going to need to draw a box for each one. So I have 2 numbers, 4 and 8, and I'm multiplying that by 7 and 2. Now we are working with decimals, so we need to put our decimals in. But we'll do that later. So I need to draw a line to each vertex. That's what I'm doing here. I'm drawing a line to each vertex. And it's really important that you kind of make a straight line, because then you'll get like confused and it won't help. So now we're going to multiply each one. So 8 times 7, and I'm putting my dots in. I put it in red so it's easier for you guys to see. So 8 times 7 is going to give me 56. So I'm going to put 5 and 6 there. Then I'm going to multiply 8 times 2, which is 16, and then 4 times 7, which is 28, and then 4 times 2 is 8. Now you notice I put a 0 there. All I have to do now is just add it up. So it'll be 6. Then I'm going to add 8 plus 1 is 7 plus 8 is 15. So I'm going to put a 5 and then a 1, just a small 1 on the corner to remind me to add there. 5 plus 1 is 6 plus 8 is 14. Do you know where I put that 1 at? All the way in the little corner, little 1, and then I put a 3. Now, this is where it gets a little tricky. So here are my dots. Now, if I connect the dots together where the line meets, where they meet, kiss, and they go flying off into land of love. Then my number becomes 34 and 5600ths, the same way that we did traditional. If you don't like the dots, you can always count how many decimal places and use that same step that we did before. 1, 2, and that's where the decimal place goes. Okay, let's practice with a couple more, and you're using your sheet for your notes. I thought I had one here, but maybe I don't. Okay, so don't forget to record this on your sheet. So here we have numbers, 4716, multiplying that by 2. I'm not even worrying about the dot. See, I put the dot really, really small because in traditional, I like to put my decimal in at the end. So just so that I can remember, I counted my decimal places. Can you jump with me? Can you jump? Can you jump? Can you jump? Okay, the person right there dancing, you got some skills right there. You got some skills. Okay, so let's jump. 1, 2, 3. So I have 3 decimal places. I'm just going to put 3 on the side. And then on your notes, there should be room for you to put 3 on the side. Then here it's 1 jump. Can you jump with me? Can you jump with me? Tiptoeing in my Jordans once. So right there I have 3 decimal places and 1 and 4. And I put a little star on it just to help me to remember that when I get my number, I'm going to jump 4 spaces. So here we go. I'm multiplying 6 times 2 is 12. I'm multiplying 2 and 1, which gives me 2. Add the 1 is 3. 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 8. Carry the 1 is 9. And then don't forget, I'm jumping over 4 spaces. Jump once, jump twice, jump 3 times, jump 4. So my number is, this is going to be a long number. Let me count my place values for a second. Tenths, hundreds, thousands, 10,000s. So I'm in a 10,000s place. How do I read that one? Okay. The person in the yellow shirt, you with me? No? Okay, just pretend. 9,432 10,000ths. Okay. Okay, so I'm doing the lattice multiplication, and because my lines were really bad, I decided to make a little table. You can maybe use a piece of paper or your agenda to make the lines really straight. I find that if you make the lines really straight, it really helps. So I have, my number is going to be 4716, but notice I only have 2 lines right here, 2 boxes. I'm going to have to put a 0 and a 2 for that place. Then it's going to be important for me to actually do my decimal points. I did those in red. And now I'm going to have to make my lines. Now this is where it gets a little tricky. Just connect the vertexes to the vertexes. Those are the ones that are like little V's. That's a vertex where two points meet together. And I have my last vertex. I think that's where people really mess up with lattice. So now I'm going to multiply 0 to 6. 6 times 2 is 12. And I'm just going to slow this down a little bit. I want to slow this down a little bit, so I stopped it. 0 times any number is 0. So this whole section right here is pretty much going to be 0. And that's okay, and that's kind of how I wanted it, because I only had one place value, but I had 2 spots. So 0 times any number is going to give us a value of 0. It just really helps me to stay organized. 6 times 2 is 12. And then now I'm going to start this up again. And then 1 times 2 is 2. There we go with our 0. 7 times 2 is 14. 4 times 2 is 8. And now I'm going to add it across. 2, 3, 4, 9, and 0, 0, 0. That helps me to stay organized. So now where do my 2 little red lines meet? And there is my decimal point. And again, I can always count the number of spaces. So jump with me, jump with me. 1, 2, 3. And then here it's 1. So 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there I have it, lattice and traditional.